Hey everyone, welcome to So What Do You Know About Business Thanksgiving episode. We're doing this a little bit early so we can actually spend Thursday with our families. So this is where we go around and we talk about lessons learned in business. We're all entrepreneurs and want to share what we've learned with the world. So as always, if you have questions, feel free to ask them here. We may not get to them today, but if you go to bit.ly/nobusiness, you can join our Facebook group where the conversation always keeps going and we're always stopping in and talking. So join us there if we don't get to your question today. So welcome. It's Thanksgiving. We need to go around the table, introduce yourself. As always, tell us what you're drinking because it is happy hour here in Dallas. And third, since it's Thanksgiving, I need you to tell me what you're thankful for, but it cannot be an easy one. There's no family in this one, unless it's like a long-lost cousin that you found. It can't be it can't be your business in general. It can do something, a little outside the box. You're more than welcome to, but just tell us one thing that you're thankful for that's not obvious. All right, so let me go. I'm going to start with Megan this time.
All right, hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Megan from meganflatt.com, and I am a business consultant for moms who are wanting to grow their dream businesses while still being present in the day-to-day lives of their kids. And one of these days I'm going to get my act together, but I'm just drinking water today. I'm kind of boring. I'm even done with my coffee. Usually at least I have some coffee to drink, but boring water. And so I'm going to just start off. I'm going to buck what you're saying about what I can be thankful for, but I am going to spin but I am going to spin it a little differently. I'm just, as much as I was fighting with technology this morning, I'm really thankful for the technology that we have available to us that allows me to have this kind of business, allows me to be the kind of mom that I want to be while still being a business owner. I've been on the phone today with two people from the UK, a Canadian, someone on the East Coast, someone on the West Coast, people that someone who lives one freeway exit away from me, but people that I would maybe never have the chance to connect with. The fact that we're all doing this right here, all from where we live, and we're able to get together each week and talk. I just think about, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and I think about her generation, and I think she would have really liked to have had a business like this, like we're all able to have. And so I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful for the technology that allows me to have the business that allows me to be with my family. So see, that's how I kind of bucked your thankful. But no, I'm just thankful for this opportunity.
Okay, awesome. That was a good one. You spun it in a good way. All right, Taylor, you're next.
Amen, Megan. My name is Taylor, and I day job, but I also do some side hustling in terms of freelance writing and marketing. Today I am drinking water. However, last night I had the best wine I've had in a really long time, and it's Torchicata Primitivo. It is 4 o'clock here, and I have a lot of work to do, so that's why I'm not, drinking that. But if you want a really good red wine, and it's a cousin to Zinfandel, drink that. And what I'm thankful for with this kind of, I guess, concept that you're going with, Erin, of it not being cheesy, I appreciate it, and it made me really tap into what I truly, one of the things that I truly am motivated, or that's going to be part of I can't even talk right now. One of the things that means the most to me, and it might be cheesy, but I feel like it means a lot to a lot of people, and that is music. And I was just thinking about all the aspects of it that I am thankful for. And one, it is therapeutic. Two, it helps me when I'm working and it helps me be productive and keeps my mind going on track. Three, it is one of the main reasons why I'm moving to LA, and that is because it motivates me to dance. And without music, we wouldn't dance. So I feel like music adds a lot of different elements to our lives, and personally for me it adds a lot, so that's what I'm thankful for.
All right, cool. And if you could put the wine in our Facebook group too, so we
Yeah.
Let's have a picture of it too.
Who cares what you're thankful for? Write the wine down.
Actually, so mine has something to do with music too, but I'll keep going. Chandra, you're next.
Hey guys, I'm Chandra Ockberger coming to you. I'm usually in Austin. I'm coming to you from Oro Valley here in Arizona, which is right in Tucson, basically. And I have Moxie Moguls, and I'm also pumping up my own personal ChandraOckberger.com, doing a whole rebrand with that. But so MoxieMoguls.com, ChandraOckberger.com, and Photogher.com. So always a lot going on. I am drinking a Corona Light that I just grabbed out of my in-laws' fridge. It's nice here. It's nice to be here. I am thankful for the insane adversity in my life. I've had to come over a lot of things, but the fact that I can like step back and see and finally be like, this is where I am right now, and be grateful for, if someone passed away, like grateful for the time that I had with them. If a business failed or a project failed, thankful for the ability to say why not and go for it, and then just keep on going forward and then see it, adapt, and adjust. So I'm thankful for that ability. I think a lot of people think that it comes easy for everyone, and I just think it's something that everyone has in them to be able to get over whatever adversity is in their life and just push through it, because we live in amazing times. Like Megan said, we can really do anything. You can talk to anybody in the world, and anything you want to do, you can do if you have internet connection. Even if you don't. If you wrote handwritten letters to people these days, you imagine what kind of business you'd have. So even without the internet, right, you can just figure out a way. But I'm thankful for the adversity and being able to push through it.
All right, awesome.
Cheers.
Very good. I agree. Cheers to you too. All right, Andrea.
My name is Andrea Trevelyan. I am a small business financial coach, so I help people understand the icky numbers that have to go along with business. And tonight I am drinking my raspberry vodka with raspberry tea, lemonade, not tea, lemonade.
Ooh.
So that's the evening's drink. What I am thankful for is Deepak's 21-day meditation challenges, because every time I do one, and I do them every time they come out, it helps me break through some block that I might have been working on, whether it was a limiting belief or a mindset change, whatever it was. It always happens, whether it's day one or the very last day. It just, the whole process of meditating and then his education that goes with it has been hugely powerful. And if you've not done one, I highly recommend you do one, because they're that wonderful. And then total side note, I started a hashtag on Twitter, which is no business. So if anybody wants to join in on the chat over there, I'll be watching it.
All right, cool. And it's KNOW.
Yep, KNOW business.
And put that link in our Facebook group, Andrea, of the meditation challenge.
Oh, I will. We just finished the last one, so it'll probably be a couple months now, but you can actually go back and buy the old challenges, and they're really good.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right, well, my name is Erin Smith, and I own a company called the Starters Club, and I am drinking, poor JJ buys beer, and then I just go and rate it. I don't even know what this is. Revolver Brewing Blood and Honey Ale. I'm just
good beer.
Need to find, it's very good. All right, so what I'm thankful for, this is so cheesy and stupid, but you guys, this makes my heart so happy. So it's like Taylor's when it comes to music, but there are two stations here in Dallas, 93.3 and 94.5, that have gone to old school hip hop. I could live in my car from here on out.
Nice.
I have heard Bone Thugs and Harmony first of the month 4 times now in the past 2 days, and this just you will it makes me so happy. It's ridiculous. And I have all of this music in my CD collection somewhere. I could totally just make this station in my home, but I just like, I am like on fire for this. Like I was driving to the airport the other night and I'm like, God, I'm so sick of the same songs. And then I'm like, wait a minute, somebody told me about this, and I turned it and it was Dr. Dre, Keep Their Heads Ringing. And I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. So it's even living in my car, that's why. It's amazing what music can do for you, and it brings back, for me, that was college. It was like, oh my God, I can go right back to a time and a place. So I'm so grateful and thankful for these stupid radio stations. I'm just like, oh.
It's so different when you hear it on. It's so different when you hear it on the radio too, isn't it? Like it's like so much better, right?
Yes.
It's like you've won that song. Someone gets you out in the universe.
Yes, it's totally right. It's like, oh my God, like you know what I'm thinking. Like I was dying for. I didn't even know that I was thinking that, and you nailed it. Like I didn't even know I wanted to hear that song.
Yeah.
So
it's so funny how music just takes you, like instantly transports you right back to a certain place. My husband and I were, watching TV the other day, and Welcome to the Jungle came on. And all of a sudden I was like an 11th grade cheerleader, and that was the song that the varsity basketball team, like they put the fog machine under the door, and that was what they ran out to, and they did I was instantly back in my high school gym in my cheerleading uniform. Like it's funny how it just does that.
No, it's awesome. So yeah, I'm on cloud 9. So I just take random drives just to be in there. All right, so we'll go back to Megan. Megan, we get to hear what you learned about business this week.
Oh wait, I thought that was it. I thought I was off the hook. I still I still have to learn something.
There's something to learn something between now and last Thursday.
Okay, so here's what I learned. So you guys know me. You guys, if you follow me, you know that I am a planner. I like to write everything out. I've got Post-it notes all over my wall. I've got, I've got my calendars up, and I was really just kind of, stuck on this new thing that I'm launching in December, which I'm really excited about. And I was just stuck. I was stuck on the name, because I found out the name that I had chosen was trademarked, and so it was like, okay, I got to come up with a new name. Got to come up with. I want to do an Instagram challenge, which I've never done before, and I was starting to just feel that overwhelm. Like what am I even doing? Why am I launching something that I've never done before in December? Like this is crazy, and I just kind of let it, like, not let it go, like I'm not going to do it, but I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm just not going to worry about it. And sure enough, as soon as I stopped worrying about it and trying to like force it into place, it just happened. Like I came up with the name, the things started kind of falling into place. And I still don't know if it's a great time to launch it, and I could pull the plug at some point, or the whole thing could totally flop. But it was just kind of this good reminder that sometimes it's okay to just like sit and take a deep breath, and that can be part of your plan. That can be part of, you don't always have to like shove things forward to make them happen. Sometimes you can be still and make things happen. So Andrea, it kind of goes with your meditation. Sometimes, the answers come when you just stop trying. So that's what I learned this week.
That is so awesome. I had a conversation with someone today, and I think you know her, Erin, Alicia Skew.
No, so yeah, I just met her online. That's how
okay.
So she commented. I'm like, hey, how do they know? I didn't know if she found me through you. It's so crazy.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, she watched us live apparently last week, but that's the very thing we were talking about, Megan. It's just like sometimes we want to go and get it going and stay focused, but we really just need to like zone out, and then it will just come. So I like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I ended up like wasting my whole day on Sunday. I, kind of cleaned my daughter's room, and I did a bunch of things, and the whole day I was like, oh, it's so nice to putter around and kind of take a day off, but I really thought I was being really indulgent, and it was funny because it was like that's what I needed to let everything percolate,
Mm-hmm.
I call that productive procrastination. I have some of my best art pieces, some of my really, really best art pieces. I'd like do a whole bunch of mixed media stuff, or just ideas come to you when you're just like it is procrastinating, but like some great stuff can come out of it, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And it's a good reminder.
Well, it's Warren Buffett has actually been quoted as saying one of the things that makes him good at business is he just sits and thinks a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sit and think. So the lesson I took from that is if I sit and think, I'll be as smart as Warren Buffett.
Right.
So.
I don't want to be as smart as Warren Buffett. I just want his bank account.
See, I want to be as smart as him.
I'm pretty smart,
nice.
and you are too.
I want his brain.
You're pretty smart on your own.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Taylor, you are next. What did you learn this week?
Okay, so I learned that, and I was thinking about this a lot, you really need to plan ahead. And what I mean by that is, especially with people, the lesson I learned is that there's this woman that I've been working with and in conjunction with for over a year now, and we're really close. We work really well in terms of business, but there's like just sometimes these weeks where like we cannot connect, and I figured it out this week, and it's because we don't take the time while we're in the call most of the times to actually schedule for the next call or the next time we're going to connect. And I realized that too, like when I was at my doctor, is like, a lot of the times when I'm at my doctor, I always schedule my appointments when I'm at that appointment for my next appointment. And so that's the thing. It's like unless it's on the calendar, it's really hard to fit it in because life happens. So I just learned that when I'm on the phone with her next time or with anyone, I just need to schedule ahead and keep that accountability going in the moment and count on it in the future.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's even like downtime and everything. You should be scheduling. And I am so guilty of being so horrible about this. It's like if I don't plan it, it doesn't happen. And if you just put it in there, date night, whatever, like you should be planning everything. And I'm so guilty of this. So guilty of not doing it.
We started doing, I know back, maybe on our first episode, we were kind of talking about self-care and, things like that. And this is something that my girlfriends and I do. We try to do a girls' night out one night a month. And we plan, even if people aren't in attendance, we plan the next one at the, so we're all out to dinner. Whoever is there pulls out their calendar and plans the next one. And then we email the rest of the group, and hopefully they can make it. And sometimes people can and sometimes people can't. But because you're exactly right. You get home and you get back to your, your day-to-day life, and all of a sudden a month or 2 months or 3 months has gone by and you haven't gone on a date night, or you haven't gone out with your girlfriends, or you haven't reconnected with a business mentor, or, been to the dentist, whatever it is. It's just easy for time to just kind of keep on marching.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I add repetitive tasks to my to-do list. So like for my doctor's appointment, I have it set up that at the same time every year I get a little reminder that says call and schedule, and then it doesn't go away until I schedule. And even with our date nights, on the first of every single month, I have a little to-do that pops up that says schedule date night, because if you don't do it, it doesn't happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a non-planner. If you guys haven't guessed, am I the only one on the panel that's like not a planner at all? It's not a good. It's something I've been working on, actually, really trying to work on this year. But for me, I have in the past like scheduled out everything, and I tend to resent my lists. I've found a bit when I plan out every single thing. And for what works great for me is the 3 a day. Like, what are the 3 things today that I can accomplish that will push me forward tomorrow? And then I have a weekly goal that's like a major thing that, if I have a launch coming up or something that's going to do that in business. I'm also not good at taking time for myself or date night or anything like that. So maybe scheduling it would be better. I don't know, but I'm not a planner.
For the major things, I know. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I know that some people do schedule out every little thing, and then there are little things like I put in my schedule. Oh, take medicine. Like obviously that's really important. So like I put that in there, but I think the bigger things are what matters, like you're saying, date night, and I'm glad that you guys are talking about that, and I'm going to live vicariously through you for that. But yeah, I mean, I just think the bigger things, and when it comes down to business, that's the thing. It's like we're losing traction because we're not communicating. But it's not because we don't want to, it's we're playing phone tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a quote going around on Facebook that I just loved, and Chandra, you'll appreciate this because this is so me. It said, "I love spontaneity, carefully planned out spontaneity," and that's totally me. And because I'll sometimes say to my husband on the weekends, like, "What's our plan?" If our plan is to have no plan, I'm okay with that, but I need to know what the plan is. So
yeah. That's my husband. My husband is the planner, so like he is more like that. But so we even each other out. But yeah, and if I have too much plan, it really does drive me nuts. It's just the way because I'm just like Animal in the Muppets, like all the time. I just want to go. So, but plans are good, very good.
All right, Chandra, you're next. We'll go with you then.
I am up. I'm gonna give a music tool, which both touches on focus and music, and it's Focus at Will. I don't know if anybody uses that at all, but I have found it like really, really awesome. And they've basically broken into brain science and said anything in this tone will make you focus. And you just put it on. They have a subscription fee, but I just use the free one, and it's just an hour. It blocks out an hour. It plays the music, and I also turn on my Pomodoro. Which is Pomodoro is 20 minutes on, 10 minutes off of work. That's just the way I work. It's a method, but there's also a tab that you can have in your a Chrome tab that turns off all the, and I think I've mentioned it before, and I'll put it in the group, that turns off all your social networking that you don't need for business. Like you can say, like, if you're going to be on Twitter or whatever with Hootsuite, then, or whatever you use, you can leave that open, but like your personal Facebook, you shut it down, and then anything that looks like it's personal and you're not using it on the internet, it will shut it down for the 20 minutes that you want to focus. But Focus at Will and the Pomodoro, as far as focusing unfocused people, is really, really great. And it involves music. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I first heard that from Eric Fisher, who has Beyond the To-Do List podcast, which is amazing. But that was driving me crazy. It was one of those things where it's been on my mind, and I'm like, okay, I need to research what that thing is so I can actually go do it.
Oh, it's Focus at Will. It's amazing. Yeah.
Focus at Will.
It's totally amazing. And even if you read about them, it's pretty cool because they've just gone into brain science to see and you can pick different types of music. No old school rap, Erin. Sorry.
All right, I'm out.
There's no Bone Thugs.
I need Bone Thugs and harmony.
But it's just the tonality. It's the tonality of it, and it really does work because I am all over. I'm just an idea person, which is great for some things, but when it comes down to like having to do the work, it's hard for me to do, and especially when you have 20 minutes without the kids, right? Like running into your office or whatever. And even if you do 20-minute blocks are really, really good to have. So, yeah, I really dig that. And more planning has actually been, come up into my life. I'm doing a soft launch for the first time, December 4th, for basically a course that's before you launch, right? Like so few do we talk about this stuff that we talk about. Like, you have to know your values. You have to know what you want. You have to know what your holdups are before you can even launch. And you kind of have to know who you want to work with, right? And that comes down to audience. And there's a couple of key questions that I've started business. I've looked back, and anything that I've started that I've not answered these specific questions has failed. So I am very much so like wanting to just do a soft launch on December 4th, and then this will go into my year-long course of like being very present in the now, whether it's for business or life or whatever. But I'll let you know how it goes. A soft launch instead of a full-on dive in, which is not, that's my forte, dive in. Slow is not.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to know how the approach changes things.
Yeah.
And that brings me that reminds me of Simon Sinek's book, Chandra. I'm sure you've read it and know it. Start with why.
Yeah.
And
Start with your why. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
So
really
important.
interested to see how it goes too, and keep us updated.
I will.
All right. Andrea, we're moving right along. What's up with you this week?
Well, this week I learned that sometimes you just need to ask for help, like get past the excuses. And I know it's really hard when you're a business owner by yourself, solopreneur, or even if you just have like an assistant or something, you kind of feel like you're on this island. And you can convince yourself that somebody can't help you or it's going to be too hard or whatever. And I had a bunch of things that have been on my list forever. And finally I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go over to Elance, and I'm going to ask my husband for this one, and I just kind of went through, and I'm like, I need this, and this, and I accomplished more this week while working less because I do Thanksgiving, so I've been shopping and cooking and all that. So I just learned that you ask. If they say no, they say no. If they don't, then you're further ahead. So you have to ask for help, no matter what stage of business you are at.
That outsourcing piece was so hard for me. You know, all of the kind of the standard reasons for not outsourcing. You know, I thought, oh, well, I don't really have good systems in place, so I can't really tell someone else what to do, or it would be faster for me to just do it versus outsourcing. But once you start to get into the groove of it, and especially if you have I have an awesome VA who I am just like madly in love with, and it's gotten to the point where I can just forward her things and just be like, can you handle this? And she can now because she kind of knows what's going on, and but I'd love to hear what were some of the things that you outsourced via Elance.
Well, it's one of those things. I had written a budgeting class a long time ago, like 4 years ago. And I had kind of converted it into something people could buy and download on my site, but it kind of needed some updating, and I wanted to turn it into Kindle instead of just being on my site. And I kept dragging my feet, thinking, I can do this. I know how to format it. I know how to do this. And so finally I went, you know what? I don't have the time for this. I want a new cover. So I actually went to Fiverr and had somebody do a new cover. And then I went to Elance and I found a guy to not only reformat the book and everything, but then to turn it into the I think it's Mobi file, whatever it is, for Kindle and everything. So the only thing I had to do was upload it to Amazon and do a quick read through just to make sure, nothing was blaring. And awesome. It was done. I had everybody hired. Everybody had their work completed in less than 7 days.
Awesome. Wow. That's awesome.
That's great.
And it's available on a Kindle right now.
I have to put a link in our group.
So that was the big one, because I had wanted to do that for years, and I just in my head had it that it was going to take hours of my time, and it did. It literally took me maybe total of an hour, and
that's
it was
awesome.
To outsource it.
Yeah.
In order to outsource it.
All the outsourcing.
And then,
if I had tried to format it myself, it would have been like 8 hours.
Right.
Yeah. And even if you find that, like, because sometimes outsourcing doesn't work. I mean, and I think that's what the fear is, like you're going to find somebody and it doesn't work and it falls through. And that does happen. But, like, inevitably, you come out knowing more about your own thing anyway. So you might as well at least give that hour, like, time to, like, outsourcing. That's so awesome. That's awesome that it all worked out for you. And I shall buy your book.
No, but I did the same. I was going to say, sorry, I was going to do this. I did the exact same thing this week. I said, get all this crap off my plate, and I'm giving her first project now. So
That's great.
Awesome.
And I've had those bad experiences, and what I learned from those, it was actually more my directions than necessarily the person. Like I either didn't give adequate information or I hired the wrong person for the job. And so over the years, I've gotten much, much better at screening people on Elance and telling them exactly what I want. Even if I have to use non-technical terms, like I'm like, I want it to be this. I don't know what that means, but
Right.
Like square-ish.
and I even, like with my designer, so the guy who laid out my book, and he was like, I need it to be this size, and I need to know the fonts. I literally copied and pasted what he needed and sent it to the graphic designer, and I'm like, I don't understand this. Can you take care of this for me? And she did. She's like, here's what he needs. I'm like, oh, awesome, thanks.
That's CEO smarts right there. You just knew where to delegate it. You don't have to do the work.
But that is learned. Delegating skills are learned.
Mm-hmm. I'm like scouring my to-do list right now. I'm like, what else can I outsource?
Now, if I could just figure out somebody to come over and cook my Thanksgiving dinner would be awesome.
Whole Foods.
I actually contemplated that. There's this place here in Texas called Rudy's, and they make these amazing turkeys, and I almost went.
Smoked turkey.
I can't wait to get to the point of outsourcing. This is very, very good. It's encouraging and inspiring and hopeful. So,
well, like if you spend some time on Fiverr, you can find some really high quality people there that you could start outsourcing today.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
I'll give my really quick, when I realized that like outsourcing, there's all these things that you think of to outsource, but I had done a webinar back in September, and it was the first time I'd ever done a Google Hangout webinar, and I probably had 5 people email me that said that they weren't ever able to get on, or they didn't have the link, or it wasn't working, sound wasn't working, whatever. In the past, just because you're busy and you've got a million things to do, I would have sent out the replay link to everyone and just kind of assumed that those people would have gotten the email link. But because I had a VA, I asked her, I'm like, can you email each of these people individually, apologize for the fact that they had trouble, and then give them the link directly. And I just feel like my customer service, because now I've got more time, or she's got more time, so I feel like my level of customer service has really improved. Things that I just wouldn't have had time for, before that.
Yeah, I agree. I just got to a point where, and for me, it was I can't get to the things I want to get to, especially for my podcast, because I have another podcast coming out too. I have all the recordings. I just have to put it all together, and I'm standing in my own way. It's all there. It's done. I just need somebody to help me do it, because I can't physically get to it all without. I don't even know if I could with a full 24 hours. I don't know. So that's where I got to a point where I'm like, I need to teach somebody how to do this, hand it off, and walk away.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. All right, cool. Well, I have been stressing out about this week because I didn't know what I was going to, like the one thing I was going to pick, because as you know, I was out last week. I was at Brendan Burchard's 10X event. I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Am I echoing to you guys?
A little.
You're okay for me.
Okay. So anyway, I was it was in California last week, and this was the most expensive conference I've ever been to. I'm not saying this to brag. It was a $10,000 conference, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this right now. And I'd been struggling in the month of November. I came home from his first event and just went out balls to the wall and was doing things, and I kept telling JJ, I'm missing something. I'm missing something, and I can't figure it out what it is. And so I went to this event, and I'll tell you, this man is so amazing that it was a 4-day event. The first half of the first day, I could have walked out of there with saying, my money's been worth every penny. Like, it was that amazing. And so my mind, my heart, my motivation, everything is just overflowing. I mean, he has a way of inspiring you and teaching you, and just to walk out of there was just the people I met. I could go on forever. So I was like, okay, what's the one thing I want to share that I learned? And it was probably that first half day where he talked about our message and the story that we share with our followers. And I am guilty of this. It's like, well, I feel like people already know me, so I don't need to tell the story of starting my first business through Google or quitting my corporate job. You know, everybody saw me. I recorded live like the first week when I quit my corporate job, so I don't need to reshare that information or the struggles I went through. And if you look at him, his turning moment, his very first turning moment was an accident that he was in when he was 19. I've heard this story probably 7 times now. And yeah, sometimes you're like, I already heard it, but it's that connection to him. It's that, and he really stressed, like, don't assume they know you. Don't assume they've heard it already. Don't assume that you don't need to retell it, because if it's an amazing story, remind them of it, even if they have heard it, and continually keep that in your messaging, because it's that connection that they feel with you that's going to make them lifetime customers, you know, versus that. And, you know, like he made it too. He's like, when you really make that connection with them, it's like family, and you allow family to make mistakes. So if you're really working on that connection and reinserting your story time and time again to really let them know you and understand you and know where you're coming from, share your vulnerability a little bit, share what you struggle with, share your struggles, share your, you know, how did he put it? Like your 5 struggles and your 5 strength. I can't remember, but it was something like, you know, really share what you believe in, like what your beliefs are as a person, what you feel they struggle with. Like keep inserting that into your marketing, and your connection with your customers will be just unbroken. So it was just a really great reminder for me, because I'm guilty of, well, they've already heard that before. What do I? They know me. No, they don't know you. And so make sure you're really letting them and helping them to get to know you.
That's a great reminder. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, it sounds like you had like an enlightenment, right? Like you just reached a bunch of epiphanies, which is always an awesome thing. And I heard this past week, I've heard lately, you know, fall in love with the problem. Not lately, but I've repeated this, like fall in love with the problem, not your solution. And then this week I heard on a show, it's like, fall in love with your audience. Fall in love with the people, because they will follow you. They fall in love with you, right? Like they fall in love with you back and your story and your values. They have the same values you have. And I was like, yes, that's it, right? Like you communicate with them, and then like you can do anything, right? So I am lots of feedback, sorry.
No, okay. I actually have 2 of his books. I need to like get reading those.
No, he's amazing. Like I know I totally sound like I'm up his ass, and I realize that. I am like just so like I was joking, because when I went to Experts Academy, there's a group that we had met, and then we all re-met at 10X, and I'm like, I feel like this is my family and this is my home. Like it was so weird, and I'm totally going back like for any event he does, because it's just this like
groupie.
What was that? Yeah, I'm a total groupie. I'm a total groupie, and it's not even that I want to be with him, so to say. Like I appreciate what he does, but the community that he brings together is just amazing people. Like I can't say enough. Like I said, for me to, as if you guys knew anything about, I know Andrew's got an idea about how I am with my money. It's like, oh God, I don't let it go. For me to walk out of there and be like, money, so well paid. I mean, so worth every penny. It's like, it's great. I mean, it's crazy. It was great.
Millionaire Messenger was like my first. Like I didn't even know, you know, going back to what I'm thankful for about like this whole technology and having an online business, and I didn't even know that existed. Like I didn't even know that was a thing until I read Millionaire Messenger, and just this idea of that there was a different way to do things, you know, and kind of tying it back into, you know, what we're thankful for. I was working a job that I wasn't happy with. I was away from my kids more than I want to, and I listened to it on audio, you know, and so I would be driving around, you know, and I was listening to the book, and I was like, oh. It just was like, you know, the light bulb, like, oh, I can do something different here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely worth it. I know he'll do 10X again in 2016, and I mean, it's worth every penny. I'm just like on cloud nine. And like I said, that was one thing I learned. Like I could probably do a 4-hour video. Actually, I could do longer than that, like about everything I've learned, because it was just like, oh my God, it just was this click of, God, he's right. And it's really just about that connection with your audience. And really
I'd watch it if you want to record that 4-hour video.
We'll do that 10x slowdown. Well, and just like, and then we got into the technical crap that this guy does with Facebook. Like, we're going to do some offline talking off Facebook, let me tell you guys. Like, I know some of you guys have been seeing my post boosting. Let me tell you, this guy is like, oh, shit. Like, it's just awesome. Pardon my French, but it's awesome what he taught.
That's great.
How do you not have the recordings?
What was that?
Well, did you happen to get any recordings?
He is actually sending them to us. So I think I'm going to wake up to Brendan every morning. I don't know how JJ feels.
How does JJ feel about this?
I don't know. We haven't talked about this yet. But it's like he just is like this like, it's just it's motivation too. Like I think I don't know about you guys, but I'm so guilty of, who am I to teach this? Who am I to encourage people? Who am I?
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, like who am I?
Yeah, but imposter syndrome, everybody has that, right? Like you're you. Like that. There are people that there'll always be people that are 10 miles ahead of you, but there will always be people that are at the start line and past the start line, not even there yet. So like, I really truly believe like it's our job to like share what we know and help other people to get to where they want to be, right? Like need to be, and it's like it's our job, right? And to tell our story, because there's so many people that can relate to us that we can help, right? I mean, it's selfish for us not to let our fear get in the way.
I agree. Yeah. I think that's an incredible way to look at it too, because it's, like he was using the health coach. He's like, how many people are you still amazed at this point in time where you're like, you need to sleep 8 hours a night, and they're like, and you're like, who doesn't know this? But yet you talk to that one person and they're like, I need to sleep 8 hours, and you're like, how do you what's wrong with you? But it's so true. Like we feel this. We get so caught up in our little world, and I always use the thing of Hootsuite. I did a webinar where I taught Hootsuite, and I like sat on this forever because I'm like, everybody knows freaking Hootsuite. I've known Hootsuite for years, and swear to God, I got an email right after. Thank you so much for introducing me to Hootsuite. I'd never heard, and I'm like, what?
Totally.
But we have to remember that time, and I have to be reminded of it, and I teach people this all the time, but yet I don't apply it. Like, I was joking with these people at lunch because I'm like, I'll teach these people, like, when I do a webinar, I'm like, reuse your content, reuse your content, reuse your content. Don't think that because you're going to be adding followers. And then he says it, and I'm like, what? I need to reuse my content? Are you kidding me? Like, I never thought of it. And I'm like, what is wrong? But it's like we just kind of need that constant reminder. So.
Well, it goes back to resharing your story. If somebody hasn't heard your story, they haven't seen that blog post that you did 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I highly recommend it. I can probably use my what did I learn about business for the next 2 years. I'm just going to keep going through my notes of my seminar and be like, oh, yeah, this is what I learned.
And then at hour 3, I learned. Hour 4, it'll just be another hour of the conference.
Oh, we didn't have to spend $10,000. We have Erin to teach us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but Erin, I mean, we talked last week about how often do we look at our notes. Like it might behoove you to actually record yourself while you're going over your notes, or like talk, have something recorded so that you have that like audio visual part of you going over your notes, because while it's still fresh, I mean, I know you have a lot going on, but like it's really, really important to have that because it was so profound to you to like really get that synced into your life, and probably recording it. I know you joke around that doing your own video would be kind of silly. You can do 6 hours, but even if like you go over your notes and record it, that would probably be really, really great for you.
I agree.
You can do something with it.
I agree, and I'll tell you, like, so after Experts Academy, you get handouts all the time, and it just gets thrown on the desk, and you forget about it. That thing was my freaking Bible. Like, I brought that with me everywhere, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, I need to go through this, and I would step through. Like, I had that stupid book memorized, and there's still pieces I missed. So this is like this one girl at the conference lost. It's a journal. This is like what we got. It's like this little journal was one thing of like a bazillion other things, but this was like the main thing she took notes in. And she lost her journal, and we didn't know we were getting the recordings. And I mean, I wanted to cry for her because this was like everything in here. I'm like, oh my god! But then he announced we were getting recordings, and I'm like, you're gonna get your notes back. So I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna come back. It's gonna be great. She's like, I know, I'm so happy. But it was that serious.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, well, I got lots of new stuff to talk about, but we are approaching our 45-minute mark. So the conversation always keeps going, like we said, in our Facebook group. If you go to bit.ly/know, and that's KNOW business, we are more than happy to talk to you there, ask questions, and we'll be posting a lot of what we talked about in this podcast, in this recording. So hopefully we will see you next week. We'll be back on schedule for 5 p.m. Central Time on Thursday. So we will see you then. Thank you guys so much. Have an incredible Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Bye.
everybody. We'll see you next week.